European bee eaters. This is where it all began for me about 8 years ago when I first started getting into bird watching again here in the Murcia region of Spain. This was one of the first locations I came to looking for the bee eaters. I'm in the bottom of a rambler bed, and just over here to my right hand side is where I started off all the time. Obviously you can hear the cars. But no, this is where I first started. When I first came here, this camera's shaking like mad in this wind. It's unbelievable. You'll get seasick watching this, but yeah, this is where I first came. I can't do this here, can I? Yeah, every time I set this up the wind picks up and it's blowing it. I've left my proper attachment at home for the camera, so. When I first came here there was approximately 8 or 10 nests of European bee eaters, 1 European roller and a hoopoo nest. Flies. And over the last 3 or 4 years there's been more and more jackdaws arriving here and pigeons. Whether they've dug the bee eaters out of their homes or it's the kestrel, a combination of everything, I'm not really sure what's gone wrong here. But this year the bee eaters turned up. They were here for a couple of days and then they just disappeared and have gone between here and the next colony is probably about 600 metres away from me. But I'll show you around this cliff now and I'll show you what I mean by it. But yeah, whether it's a combination of the rain, the rabbits, predators, God only knows. But the bee eaters have suddenly decided they don't want to nest in this bank anymore, or in the other main bank. Right, yeah. I've got my way through. Let's get in here. See, no one comes through here now. The goats. Nobody comes through here now. This used to be a cycle path when I first came, and you get motorbikes and everyone along here. You can see all the nest holes over the years have been opened up. The rabbits have been in, the bees have been in. So yeah, this was my first rock face with the bee eaters, but for some reason they really don't want to live here no more. Like I say, I'm sat on the edge of a public road, you know, a stone road here, and how I found this nest was pure luck. I just came round the corner. I drive this road a lot on all my sort of bird routes at various times. And I've never seen them in this bank before because there's only a few, you know, not even a metre at all. But I came round the bank and there were 2 bee eaters sat on the floor, and I just thought, oh, that's unusual. I normally see them sat on the chain link fence. And then they flew off and I was just sat here and I thought, that's a bit strange. So I sat here for a bit longer and then one came back and bumped straight in the hole. And I thought, bloody hell, I've missed that completely. So whether they nest on this road to stop predators or nothing, I've no idea. You know, if you've any ideas, please leave a comment below. But no, why they choose to nest in this bank, whether it's because of protection, it's a public road. But I'm thinking snakes, jennets, rats, anything could crawl in this nest. But it's amazing where it is, and like I say, it's only really safe for me to film here on a Sunday, and I've just seen the roller. We're literally about 150 metres away from the next bee eater colony. So, like I say, why they've chose to nest here, I've absolutely no idea. But It's quite intriguing. It's good for me to film in a way because I'm only like 10 metres from the hole and I can film out the car. And this Panasonic G9 Mark II with the 100-400 lens is absolutely fantastic. You put it in 120 frames a second, which in 4K is absolutely brilliant. And then I can slow it down to 240, so you get really good slow motion and it's got fantastic quality. But we'll get out of the car now and I'll just walk you up here. It's quite amazing where this nest is. And you can see this bank. And there's the hole. Look. Can you see it? Absolutely amazing. But yeah, all the footage you're seeing is coming in and out of this hole, so 120 frames, but look, it's not even a metre tall. Yeah, I've got to be pretty quick here, look. These are a couple of bee-eater nests as well. And again, I'm on a main road here, the tarmac, so whether it's because you got the tents behind there, so there's more bees or wasps, insects, I don't know. But yeah, these nests were always hard to film because I'm sat on a tarmac road, so I don't like doing it, only on a Sunday. Literally, again, I'm on the side of a tarmac road here. So I've got to be pretty quick filming this, but this is another place I filmed quite a few. You have to be a bit careful here. I have to sit. Oh, I don't know what that's just landed in the tree in front of me. And there's a bird up there now. I can't see what it is, but anyway, yeah, this bank never used to be bees, but there's 2 or 3. Let me get the camera out for this bird. Yeah, it's amazing, this redback shrike in the bush. Literally, I'm sat here trying to show you the bee eaters, and this appears. Absolutely amazing. Not the best quality because I'm just hand holding this. I'm shaking like a leaf and sweating like my tits off. But yeah. I've got probably about 10 bee eaters. They're all around me at the moment, but I'm sat here because I'm under the trees, so they'll have to carry on in a minute because the front of the camera's in the sun and it's beginning to overheat. So this is where I've been doing most of my bee footage from. I'm sat on the edge of a copse near where I live, and they do prefer this end of the wood in the afternoons. They don't get here early. This is the trouble with these bee eaters. I hear them go over my house at first light when you're laying in bed, but when you actually come out here, you can't bloody find them. Yeah, the bee eaters don't get out here till... There's one over there because there's not much wind. They don't get here till at least 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. And by then, it's too late. The golden hour's gone in the morning. And again, in the evening, they're gone by 5:30. So I'm sat here now at 6:20, and there's one bird left now. Where they go, I presume they're roosting in the trees. But yeah, I've done most of my footage from here recently. I must admit, it's good, except for I'm facing into the sun, so you can't see, but I've got a net on my windscreen, trying to stop a bit of sun. And I'm basically shooting across the sun. It's not ideal, but you've got a film where you can film. The two things I absolutely loved about this Panasonic G9 Mark II, and one of the reasons I bought it, or two of the reasons I bought it, was the pre-capture, which other cameras, you know, OM on the Micro Four Thirds system has got it as well, and a few other cameras have got it. But the pre-burst or pre-capture, or whatever you want to call it, absolutely fantastic. Oh, I'm just watching. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, the camera I'm using allows me to use 60 frames, and I've only got it in 20 frames, and that's bloody plenty enough. My God, you got to look at 1,000 photographs when you get home. It really is. Takes a lot of time up and computer space working it all out. But the pre-capture, absolutely fantastic. And the other thing is the 120 frames in 4K, allowing me to slow it down to 240. I just absolutely love that. That's what I've wanted this camera so badly for, to be able to do that. I can get it down to 240 quite easily. I could even go a lot slower than that if I wanted. I could film in 300 in 1080p, but I'm not sure you'd get any real benefit out of filming in 300 and slowing it down, to be honest. But it's amazing, yeah, just coming round here on the way, like I say. I set out that last nest, and they're on public roads, they're on tarmac roads, so I don't know whether it is the roads that keep the predators away from the nests. If you've got any idea, please comment below and tell me. Or if you think I'm talking a load of bollocks, please tell me again. We're 2/3 of the way through July now, and like I say, we've had a few 40 degrees, and I'm sat here now in 37 degrees, and it is hurting, so I won't be sat here much longer. And it does make it hard work. And you can see the bee eaters, they're panting. They start off out in the open fields, and then eventually they end up in the tree line. I presume the wild bees and the wild wasps have got holes in trees and things like that, so I guess that they're coming back in, and they're picking them off as they go past on the wind. I mean, they're called bee eaters, but I think their favourite food is actually dragonflies and damselflies, and if they catch them, they will fight over one. Yeah, I don't think I'm really qualified to sort of give you the technical stuff on this camera, apart from I can say it's bloody good. You know, the best thing since sliced bread as far as I'm concerned, but, you know, there are other flavours out there. I was sat here yesterday morning, and on the pylon in front of me, about 75 metres away, was a short-toed eagle, which is the closest I've been to a short-toed eagle for a long time. And it just sort of sat up there, and eventually it caught me because I got the net up in front of me. I can't really see through the net. And it caught me by surprise yesterday when it took off, and came straight over me, so I panicked and had the camera in the wrong settings, as usual. But with general photography for the bee eaters and that, coming into land on the perches, I'm tending to use 4 and 5 thousandths of a second. And that seems to be the sweet spot for me for getting the perfect wings, which is all I'm trying to do. But it's very slow now, like I say. Once we're after about 5:30 in the afternoon, you don't see many bee eaters, whether they've got a full stomach or a full crop, and go off up in the trees, have a preen, and eventually go to bed. I don't know, but they're not hunting in the golden hour at night, put it that way. You have to film them in the bloody middle of the day or whatever. Yeah, filming in midday with video's not too bad. You know, you should use an ND filter, but I'll get round to that eventually. But taking photos, it's absolutely crap. I must admit, the colours are shit. But you've got to go when you got to go, and you can only take photos. You can't take a photo if it's not there. Yeah, the flies are doing my head in now. It's 37 degrees. I've been sweating my tits off for the last hour, which is a long time for me. I don't normally do more than about half an hour at this time of the year. It's too hot. There's no point in torturing the flies. They do like this eucalyptus tree, these bee eaters. They got their favourite little perches. I'm using the car, obviously, as the hide, and they don't mind it. I'm 50 metres from them. I wish I could be a bit closer, but it is what it is, and that's the end of it. You know, I'm not going to set a hide up, a pop-up hide in this weather, because the camera, if you stick the barrel out, the lens, 10 minutes in the sunshine and this camera's overheating in 37 degrees. It really doesn't like it. I might have to drive around the other side. I didn't really want to move at this time of day, because if I go round there, I'm at a real disadvantage with the sun, even worse than here. But I keep seeing them, and they're not coming back to these perches at all now. But they're certainly getting ready for bed, and like I say, it's not, you know, we're still 2.5 hours off sunset. And again, when I'm sat on my terrace late at night, you can hear them going back. They're going over ones and twos calling, so I don't know where they're roosting or where they go. If you have enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, a like and a subscribe.